everyone, it's Justine the Twilight Stamper, and today I'm creating a Under the Sea card featuring a card for the AAA card design team. The challenge this week is Water World using dies, and I'm also using this as my card for a So Suzy Stamps entry for this month's contribution. I'm going to be coloring this octopus stamp from my So Suzy stamps that I already cut out and stamped using Memento ink. I'm going to be cutting this octopus out fully, so I'm not really concerned about staying in the lines for this Copic coloring. I'm going to put you on fast mode with some music, and we'll get started on coloring this first, and then we'll put together the entire card. To get started on the background, I'm using Mermaid Lagoon, Salty Ocean, and Peacock Feathers. I got this idea from my friend Francine from Switzerland, and I'll link to her video here in the corner as well as in the description, so you can take a look at her card. I changed it up slightly. I did use the same colors, or some of the same colors, and used this technique that she had taught me. So I'm taking a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 paper, and I am just running it through the colors that I sprayed with water, and then I dried it completely, and then I went in and I picked up more and more color where it was needed. I continued to add a little bit of water in between each layer. So I love this idea because you'll never get the same look twice, and mine even looks quite different from Francine's in her video. And so I really like the way that it looked. I used just regular paper, so it did warp a little bit, but I ended up putting the card in between a dictionary and sitting on it for a little while I made my next card idea, and it turned out quite flat. So Francine also used vellum on her card to use a sentiment, and I'm going to do the same thing. But instead of just cutting it into a panel, I'm going to be using these Making Waves dies, or these waves dies. They're from my favorite things. And I'm going to be stamping the Sending You Birthday Wishes from So Suzy Stamps in the left part of the strip here. And so I'm just using the stamp here so I know how wide I need to adjust my vellum pattern. And I'm going to attach it using some washi tape and send it through my die cutting machine. Now I'm able to take the dies off of the vellum. I had to kind of be careful a little bit here while I pulled them off. They didn't just come off like regular cardstock, but it didn't create any tears or anything, so it was fine. I'm going to be stamping the Sending You Birthday Wishes stamp from So Suzy Stamps using Versamark ink, and I'm going to be heat embossing that using super fine white embossing powder from Ranger, and I decided to move that sentiment over to the right side. I picked up some embossing powder, and all of my extras fall back into the Tupperware container, which is super convenient. I'm taking my heat gun, and I made sure that I turned it on about 30 seconds to a minute before I touched it to the vellum, so the vellum didn't warp, so it melted right away. I folded a 8 1/2 by 5 1/2 inch piece of 110 pound Unisolar white cardstock, and I scored that at 4 1/4 inches. I'm adding my pattern, which I cut down to 4 by 5 1/4 inches, onto my card base, and then I'm going to be adding the vellum sentiment. Now I found that even I glued it down, and I had no issues with the glue being seen because the blue background was quite distracting, but I just put my glue on the underside of the octopus as well as under the sentiment so that you didn't really see it when I glued it down, and I glued it down using some Tombow Mono liquid adhesive. I ended up putting a little bit of glue onto the sides so that it didn't pop up so much, and onto the bottoms of the waves, and I didn't personally see it, which usually I do see it on the vellum, but I guess that blue is just so distracting you don't notice it, as I said before. I decided to add some sequins to my card, the lily white sequins from Doodlebug. As you've noticed, the last couple weeks I've been using these lots. I really like white sequins because you can color them with Copic markers if you want, and then you have every color of the rainbow, and you don't need to have a billion sequins hanging around. And with the one little jar from Doodlebug, I'm going to have sequins for a very, very long time, especially when I only add them about 3 at a time, so it was a great investment. That's the end of my card tutorial almost. A card is not complete with a little bit of Wink of Stella, and I decided to do that on the entire octopus actually. I had originally thought on just his legs, but I ended up putting it on all of him. You can't notice actually though on the card itself in the photo, but he's really shiny and adorable. So thanks for watching. I hope you will thumbs up, subscribe, and possibly leave a comment below if you have a moment. And thanks again. Have a great day.